It's 2026, and if you clicked on this video, you probably have some goals you want to accomplish. And while it's easy to start at the beginning of the year, at some point, life happens. You get busy, school starts to pile on, and after a long day, instead of working on your goals, you would much rather brain rot and scroll. And thus, another year goes by without you having accomplished anything. And then, one of two things happen. You either start making excuses for yourself, thinking, of course I couldn't have done it this time around, XYZ happened. Or, if you're lazy and ambitious, you start to beat yourself up over the fact that you could have achieved your goal, but didn't, thinking, damn, I hate myself. I literally can't get myself to do anything. But this year will be different. Why? Because you're gonna start using this strategy I call the golden hour. Alright, let's get to the chase. What is the golden hour? It's simple. Basically, every day you set aside 1 hour to do a condensed routine. What's in this routine? That's up to you. But let me show you mine to give you an example. First, I do 10 minutes of stretching. Next, I do 10 minutes of meditation. Then I do 10 minutes of journaling, and then 10 minutes of core exercises. And finally, I wrap it up with 20 minutes of boxing. Before we move on, let's talk about why this works. First, don't be fooled by these 10-minute small actions. What allows the golden hour to work is the accumulation of progress through small habits. Picture this. Two runners have 7 days to prepare for a mile race. Runner A runs 1 mile every day, totaling 7 miles before the race, while runner B runs 10 miles the day before. Even though runner B has a higher quantity of miles ran, being 10, we all know that runner A is more likely to win through his consistency. I kid you not, if you just set aside 10 minutes a day to doing proper stretching, in a few months, I guarantee you can hit the splits. And for my skinny kings out there, if you do 10 minutes a day of sit-ups, you'll get a six-pack in no time. And the second reason why it works is that after you finish your golden hour, you can actually feel productive and good about yourself. And don't just take it from me. Think about a time you went outside for a walk or cleaned your room for 10 to 20 minutes. Felt good, didn't it? You see, even if you choose to or accidentally rot the entire day, so long as you completed your golden hour, you did something productive. And you should be proud of that. And just knowing that your system is running and step by step you're making progress towards the person you want to become, it feels nice. And not only that, if you're doing this in the morning, the best part is you can do more. If you're still feeling fired up, you still have the rest of the day to seize. Like, back to the cleaning example. We've all been there before. You're cleaning your room for 5 minutes, and next thing you know, you're all gloved up cleaning dust in places that you haven't visited in months. Now, what started that? It was that small catalyst of productivity that came from the golden hour.
Editor note here, but one thing I wanted to add is because all this time that I'm using is efficient, I don't have to worry about feeling guilty about doing other less productive things like video games. But at the same time, try not to fall for the illusion of progress. What makes the golden hour actually help you achieve your goals and move you forward is the momentum you gain and the journaling portion, which I'll talk more on later.
Now, before you run off and have all these crazy ideas, right? There's a few things that you should know. So, for number one, I want you to decide whether you want your golden hour to be in the morning or at night. Here's an image that compares the two. Number two, start small. If you're not used to doing things like this, an hour might be too long. Of course, you can't call it golden hour anymore, but golden time sounds just as cool. For example, you could just start off with 20 minutes, where it's 5 minutes of stretching, 5 minutes of journaling, 5 minutes of meditation, then 5 minutes of sit-ups. And as you get used to it, increase the amount of time slowly. For example, maybe 24 minutes, where it's 6 minutes of each one. The important thing is being consistent. You do not want to bite off more than you can chew. And especially because the plan is to do this daily, you probably don't want it to be more than an hour. Moving on to number three, you can't just add anything in there. You don't want to approach it mindlessly and just add stuff like brushing your teeth, washing your face. We're not trying to pad time with things we already do, unless it's something where you should be doing it but don't, like taking pills. And adding on to that, make sure each part is relevant and has a reason to be in your golden hour. For example, for me, I like to stretch because I like to be mobile and it wakes me up. I like to meditate because it calms me down and prepares me for the day. And I train my core because I have back pain and abs are cool. Point being, be intentional and efficient with your golden time. Don't just be adding these things like meditation or stretching just because I'm doing them. Think about what does your life need and what actions can you put on your golden time that align with your goals. Here are some ideas that you can add on for yourself, and I think the 3-minute tuck planche lean is a good example of how creative and malleable the golden hour is to fit for your needs or your goals. However, I would say though that journaling is the one non-negotiable thing that I believe should be on there. Personally, I like to write about how I'm feeling at the time, reflect on yesterday, what events am I going to do today, what I want to accomplish, and a rough schedule for the day. But the point is, planning, even if something unexpected happens, gives you a general idea of the day, which removes mental clutter and helps you stay focused on what you want to accomplish. And reflecting allows you to evaluate and adapt your systems if necessary, which leads me to number 4. Get started first, then adapt and add details as you go. First, I want you to just establish the bare bones of the routine and start doing it. And as you do these golden hours, you're going to start to notice these areas where it can be improved, and that's when you can make it all fancy. For example, at first, for the 10 minutes of stretching, I kind of just wandered around aimlessly and just did a bunch of random stretches, and I noticed a lot of downtime. But because I want to optimize and use my time efficiently, I made this plan, which is a lot more efficient and detailed. But I wouldn't have known that if I just didn't start, right? So get started as soon as you can. Another example is journaling. For day 1, since I just woke up, I was kind of lost and was writing a bunch of random stuff and thought, how can I improve this or optimize my time? So I came up with the idea of subsectioning the paper and guiding my brain for future journal entries. The point that I'm trying to get at here is don't be stuck in analysis paralysis and just do the golden hour first and then refine it and optimize it. And remember, don't be bound by your decisions. Even right now, I'm noticing that 20 minutes of boxing feels like a lot. I'm probably going to reduce it down to 15 minutes and add 3 minutes of dead hang and 2 minutes of cleaning my room, or something like that. The point is that it's malleable. Just make it so that by the end of the hour, you feel satisfied. And final quick tip, make a playlist. These times don't have to be exactly 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's just how I like to do things, but make it work for you. You could do, oh, I'm gonna stretch until song 1 ends, and then I'm gonna draw until song 3 ends, something like that. Personally, I like to use the same songs over and over again because meditating to heart never fails to bring me at peace. You might argue listening to the same song over and over again and that this whole golden hour idea is mundane and repetitive. And while yes, I agree that surprises are fun, I think having something predictable and constant from time to time is comforting in its own way. Alright, let's wrap this up. Look, I know sticking to a routine is hard. Life gets in the way, motivation fades, we've all been there. We start strong in January and fizzle out in March. But the thing is, the golden hour isn't supposed to be a burden. It's not supposed to be something that adds onto your plate. It's supposed to serve as a way to slowly, bit by bit, build an unshakable foundation that supports and works for you. And look, regardless of whether you do this or not, the chaos of life is still going to persist. But what I like is that doing this strategy, you're guaranteed 1 hour or even 20 minutes where you and only you are in control. It's no one else's time but yours. And slowly, as you follow through day by day, you build these tiny wins that help you build trust. And you go from, I hate myself and I can't get anything done to, alright, I did my golden hours today, I'm feeling good, and regardless of whatever happens or whatever happened, I'm making progress. So yeah, I'd say just go for it. Start small, be consistent, and make those tiny strides, not towards just your goals, but also self-acceptance. And speaking of tiny strides, last year I was the opposite. I tried to pursue greatness in so many different fields and be amazing and do all this stuff, and although I did achieve a lot, I wasn't able to hit some of the more important goals. I kind of lost sight of what really mattered. And if that sounds a bit familiar, I talk about it here and what I learned through my failures, which you might find helpful. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later, and don't forget to take action. Peace.